Welcome everybody to today's stream. Today we're gonna play some PV World vs. World rather. And yeah, let's see how it goes. We have some action going on here. And I also think I want to start our guild mission that we have this week. So where is it here? World vs. World rank. It's not that hard to get, but I want to try to get it when I, for example, capture Storm's Castle or get a big experience pop, so that it is safer to complete, because World vs. World rank gain, yeah, it's not very consistent. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't get it in the time. So I try my best here. I'm not on a Zerg build right now, so that's a big problem. Yeah, they got me. Okay, let's run back and swap to a Zerg build, because Harbinger is definitely not a very strong Zerging build, as you lose all the second life that you have as a normal Necromancer. Welcome, Filthy Casual, welcome. Hope you had a nice day so far. Today I want to gather some predictions, what you see or what you think will be coming with the next balance patch. We will get a preview on Friday, and I'm gathering some, just some insights. Maybe you have some spicy predictions. Welcome, Sandy, welcome. And I want to gather them and maybe make some nice, maybe some nice balance patch bingo. And see if it will happen, because I have to be honest, the last one was not that exciting, and I hope this one will be way better. So let's see. Deadeye World vs. World knows. I think Deadeye has almost since release, Deadeye has been a really obnoxious thing in World vs. World, and I'm not sure if they will really address it. The reason for that is, I think it is not that game-breaking in that sense. It's just by design really annoying to fight, because it can stealth, it has range damage, it is just annoying you when you want to run around, getting from one spot to another. But it's not broken in that sense, because you can kill it if you can catch it. So I really hope that they fix stuff or change stuff up, and not only address issues that are happening, so that we get some content that is not just changing a few numbers, but maybe get some reworks, some really spicy changes that bring builds back that are not played at all, or make builds that are really good right now really bad. I think that's really nice. They could do that in competitive modes, but I'm not sure if they really can do that. Yeah, I think sometimes I have to say thieves can sometimes feel like they are cheating because they're really fast. They can pod around like crazy, which is, if you are fighting a good thief, can happen, especially a Deadeye. They can stealth a lot, they can teleport a lot. But it happens in World vs. World sometimes that you have people that are just not using the normal ways, let's say. Sometimes they're abusing exploits or even really hacking, so that happens as well. But it's quite rare. So most of the time it's probably just someone that is really, really experienced on Thief. Yeah, okay, if your CC doesn't do anything to them, it's probably not normal, because thieves don't have that much access to stability, so yeah, I don't know. So are you hoping for a Deadeye nerf, Filthy Casual, or are you expecting one? Because I think that's something different, yeah. Because sometimes you hope for something and that's not gonna happen. But for example, I think a Weaver buff will happen. I think that is such a safe bet because it's so bad in every single game mode that it would be a shame if they missed that. And I think they are experienced enough to change or not notice this. Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure if a Deadeye nerf will come. I think in PvP and PvE it's actually quite okay. In World vs. World it's actually, I agree, quite annoying to fight, but I'm not sure if they can fix that problem. But let's see. I mean, maybe someone else has another idea. I don't know. I think there are many possibilities that the balance team should address. Let's see if they will address any of them. Maybe none. We never know. Until Friday. Yeah, I think it's, for me, I feel like oftentimes if you face another player that is really, really good on Thief, I think it's really hard to catch them. I have to be honest, if I have a similar skilled Thief against me as on my skill level, it's really hard. I think in most situations I can't kill them. Either they are just running away when I pressure them, or they are just killing me straight up. I think there is, if you fight a Thief on the same skill level as you are, then typically you don't have a chance in that sense, because they always have the upper hand when it comes to surviving. I'm too slow for this. So Willbender maybe has enough potential to just run away or catch them if they run away, but most other classes don't have that luxury. So yeah. Yeah, I think it's always like the people that, for example, like you say here, play Willbender and they really enjoy it. Then you get the hang of it and you think, oh, it's a nice build. But all the people that play against it see, oh, this is really annoying to fight. Yeah. So I totally get why you have both opinions. Yeah. So people that really enjoy the build, and then have people that really think, oh, this is so obnoxious, I don't play that build and I don't want to fight against it. I totally get that. But I think you have to find a middle ground there, because I think Willbender damage output is too high for the possibility of the movement that you have, for the possible resustain that you have. You don't have to be a skilled Willbender to deal damage. Yeah. And I think that's okay, but if you have a build like this, you should get punished very hard if you overcommit. And oftentimes I feel like Willbender doesn't have the problem, because either they run away or they use the invulnerability. So my prediction is that they should increase in competitive modes the cooldowns on the virtues, so that you get way more punished for spamming them or using them in the wrong situation, because then you have still high damage and it might feel very rewarding to play, but in the end you can get punished for mistakes that you make. Yeah, I think in World vs. World I would agree. Deadeye has too much damage for the stealth access. I think overall, I think stealth is too easily accessible on most Thief builds, so that they don't get punished. So I think, for example, one thing that I really dislike is the possibility that you can remove revealed as a Deadeye. I think this is so broken, and this should not exist, in my opinion. And I also think the revealed debuff should be longer, so that you get punished more for stealthing and de-stealthing. Welcome, Galen, welcome. So that you can't perma-stealth, or at least if you do, you can't do any damage. I think that should be in the game. I think it's really, stealth is so strong in Guild Wars 2. It should not be the case that you can permanently stealth. And they have so much damage, it's crazy. Yeah, so that's just my take. Yeah, I think Soul Beast is quite underrated in competitive modes, especially in World vs. World. You have a lot of access to boons and tanky stuff like your Dolyak stance. And if you use the right gear set, you have still a lot of damage. So I think it's really good. It's a really good build. Yeah, so Sandy knows it. There's a giveaway currently going on. Just write !ticket in Twitch chat. You have to be a Twitch follower to win. And we will give away 2 skins. In total, they are around 60 gold. And subscribers get double the luck. So just !ticket is enough. You don't need the 1, but it doesn't hurt anyway. I think we will not kill those guys here. They will kill us again. Maybe, I don't know. No, doesn't look good. They have actually a really well organized circ in contrast to us. It's crazy. Yeah, I think that's a really cool gimmick that a Soul Beast has the ability just to remove the pet, because I think that's a very underrated thing to do if you fight druids, if you fight untamed. Just kill the pet, and then they lose a lot of their abilities, or at least a lot of their agency in a fight. Soul Beast doesn't have that problem, at least if they merge with it. So I think that's really cool. But I agree, if it gets too strong because of that, you have to do something against it. But in most situations, I have to say, I think Soul Beast is okay. I think there are other specs that might get nerfed a little bit harder just because of the ease of use. I think Soul Beast is very overwhelming when it comes to damage, because if they sig you and stuff, they have a lot of damage buffs. But if you can survive the first burst, they don't have that much. So I think that is a fair build in that sense, even though you have to know what you are doing. So that might just be my take, but I think it's okay to have builds that are designed around one-shotting people. Yeah. Because they get punished if they don't succeed, because they don't have enough damage anymore. It's a problem if they have... I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah, welcome, Razel. Sure. See you later then. I'm not sure if we can do anything here. There are just too many people waiting outside our gates here. If you have any questions, please let me know. We are always happy to answer questions here. Yeah, let's see, maybe we can get our tower back. So I was talking about predictions for the balance patch, and like I said, I think the safest bet I can imagine is that they will have some Weaver buffs. For me, that is definitely true. But let's think about other things. So I think Willbender Virtues is probably something that I would expect, or at least Willbender damage nerfs in competitive modes. And I really hope for Spear Elementalist changes. I think the Elementalist Spear is a really cool weapon. I think the targeting is a little bit lackluster. I really hope they change stuff that is making it a little bit easier to target, the ground targeting, and a little bit more, I don't know, just more easy to use. I'm not completely sure if that will work out, but I hope that will be the case. But let's see. I mean, you never know what they are thinking. Sometimes they are really happy with the design they have, and then no one else is happy. So I'm not completely sure about that. it's for every single game mode, Galen. I think at least they don't split the balance patches anymore. So sometimes they have a focus on something, but we don't know in the beforehand. So most of the time it's just they have a balance patch preview and we see what they will change, but most of the time it's changes for the whole game. And I really hope for reworks so that we have changes that affect, for example, like the Renegade rework was quite recently. Those were changes that they did not change numbers that much, but they changed how a specific legend in that case worked, and that affected the whole game, of course. And I also think they should take a look at all the spears, because I think the spears are either extremely broken, like the Mesmer spear, like the Guardian spear, or somewhat underwhelming, like the Ranger spear. Ranger spear is not used in any builds that is currently meta, I would say. It's not that bad, but it's just not the best option. So I really hope they look at the spears and make them somewhat, just somewhat useful. Maybe the next balance patch will be in February. We don't know the exact date yet, as far as I know, but it will be in February, and we will get a balance preview this Friday. I will make a video about it as soon as I know the changes and let you know my opinion about it. Yeah, but I don't know exactly what they will try to address, but I really hope that they address a lot of stuff and are bold enough to make changes that are impacting it by a lot and not just small number changes. A while back I made a video on YouTube about how I think the balancing in Guild Wars 2 is too, I don't know, too careful without any really big changes. And I really hope that the next balance patches is changing this up and they really go for some really big changes. And in this video I also mentioned that I really hope that they make builds really strong that are underperforming previously. And I don't mean just make them decent. I think people should be really incentivized to play another build, another class, because that gives them a completely new perspective on the game. So I think, especially in competitive modes, if, for example, Willbender was the flavor of the year, the last year, let's say, then maybe bring Holosmith back or something like that. Nerf Willbender damage so much that no one will run Willbender anymore and everyone is going on Engineer, you know? Why not make it like this? Because then people at least have something new to do. Yeah, I'm not sure. Galen, I don't think actually they will nerf Fresh Air Tempest. I think they are quite happy about Fresh Air Tempest, that it exists. I think they might nerf it a little bit in the damage output just because it's really strong for how hard it is to play, and it also has quite a lot of ranged options. So I would say that's probably the most likely thing, that they will just nudge it down a bit, maybe 1 to 2k. But in the end, I think the build will definitely be still worthwhile running, for sure. I think there is nothing that they are not happy about that build. And I totally agree with you, Nivi, on YouTube there, that I think ArenaNet is always having a favorite, having Guardian as the favorite spec. I think it's always feeling like they are afraid to nerf it more than they have to. And therefore they, for example, Firebrand, they nerfed once and it was really, really strong, the nerfs in PvP. But ever since then, I think that was when PoF was first launched, ever since then they buffed it again. And I think if they continue buffing it, that it will definitely be the best support in PvP again at some point. And I also think they should nerf Willbender for sure. I think it's important that they changed it. But yeah, you never know. Sometimes they really do it. Ranger Spear is underperforming and then they just nerf nothing and buff Willbender just in whatever, for whatever reason they think that's necessary. But I really hope they just see the problems this time and don't do stuff that is just not necessary or even stupid. It was quite a while since the last balance patch, so I think I don't want to be too hopeful here, but I think it might be a good one. I really hope. But we will know on Friday if we can if we can be excited, if that will be the case. Yeah, let's see. Okay, what other classes do I think is very likely to get changed? I think in the current spot, I think Blood Power Harbinger is actually quite decent in PvP. I think they actually think it's okay in that spot, and I would agree with that. When it comes to other Necromancer specs, I think Condi Reaper is also okay if you don't have enough damage anymore to one-shot it. I think it will get back into the meta. Yeah, I think that's a very good point there by Nivio. That if you nerf the Willbender spear damage by, let's say, a significant amount, then it's very likely that everyone that plays Willbender right now will just drop spear and play greatsword instead, and you have the same issue. That is definitely a very strong argument, but I think they should not nerf Willbender only. Oh, there it is, the dead eye. Let's see if we can win this. Probably not, but let's see. Okay, first stealth is gone. I mean, I hit the Cope Elixir, so I think this guy has to go back. Okay, never mind. They are dead. Easy win against the Deadeye. So I think that's a very good point, that you might just play Greatsword then. But that's why I said on a Willbender, I think they should nerf the cooldowns on the virtues. So that the virtue cooldowns, for example, Crushing Courage, the F3 skill, should maybe even be double the cooldown on Willbender, so that you get punished very hard if you use it at the wrong time. Because then, even if you play with Greatsword after the Spear nerfs, maybe, they still have a nerf, you know? I think that would be something they should do. I'm not sure if the traits are necessary to nerf them. Yes, maybe some of them give you too much damage buffs. That might be true. But I think it's okay to have a really bursty build that also dies really fast. But I think if you are also having a build that is extremely mobile, having some nice stability application and stuff, then sometimes I think that would be the nerf that I would address. Just making the cooldowns a little bit more, I don't know. Three people said. Yeah, that's my take on it. Welcome, Dash, welcome. Yeah, we are quite happy here, and let's see if we stay that way. Hope you all had a nice day so far. And I'm not sure if they really want to nerf Thief specs. I think they probably might want to buff Thief Spear. I think the Spear on Thief is actually rather lackluster for most content in the game. I also think they probably will buff Spectre. I'm pretty sure they will buff Spectre across the board, probably. And I agree that they should nerf Dead Eye Stealth Axes and probably making Thief X and just the annoying spam from 101s and stuff, because thieves can engage and disengage all the time. That should be addressed, I agree. But I think it's okay to have a spec that is somewhat similar to Willbender, but both of them should be more balanced. I totally get that point, yeah. And I would also say that's definitely something they should address. What else do we have? I think they should heavily buff all engineer specs, especially in PvP, but I would say actually in every single game mode, to be honest. I think it's necessary that they buff at least Holosmith and Scrapper in PvP, but I would also say Holosmith should get a nice utility in PvE so that it's very worthwhile to run, because I think it's really underrated right now. which is sad because I think it's a really good spec. But if they buff it a little bit, I think everyone would run it. So I think that would be a good thing. No, I think Mechanist should not be buffed in PvE. I was talking about the competitive mods. But Mechanist is the only spec that I would just leave it like it is for probably all game modes, just because it should not exist in PvP, in my opinion, because it's not good if you have a spec that can kill you because the AI is better than the enemies. I think that's not something that you want to have in a game. So that's just my take on it, but yeah. And yeah, I think Scrapper and Holosmith could definitely see an interesting revive in the future for sure. Yeah, when it comes to Condi Guardian or just any Firebrand or Condi spec that Guardian can produce, I think Condi Wilbinder currently is really good in PvE. I think Guardian in PvE, I think, is in a quite decent spot. Maybe they should buff a little bit the usefulness of, or I don't know. I think it's actually in a decent spot because people are just underestimating how good a Firebrand is if you can play it correctly. I think even it doesn't matter if you're full DPS, if you are offensive support, or if you're defensive support. If you know what you're doing, Firebrand is really good. But I agree, it would be really cool if you have some kind of hybrid build in PvP or World versus World, because that's definitely something that is missing currently. You either play full support or you don't play Firebrand, I would say, in competitive modes. So it would be really cool if you have some kind of Sage hybrid build that you could use. I think that would be really nice. When it comes to Dragon Hunter, I think Dragon Hunter is quite decent in Zerg play. But other than that, in competitive modes, it's yeah, I would say not the best option. It's decent, but not the best. So I think they should try to make it a little bit interesting again for the competitive modes, making it a little bit more, giving it back its identity of having nice AoE damage and just a lot of area denial maybe. That would be cool. And also giving it maybe a little bit, I don't know, a little bit of love in the long-term DPS. For example, you use it really well in fractal speedruns, yes. But other than that, it's actually not used that much, just because the damage output over a long fight in PvE is not enough. So I think that's an issue that I would also address, that Dragon Hunter is the power DPS spec, in my opinion, from Guardian in PvE. And that's why it should get buffed, in my opinion, yeah. But we will see. It's just my take on the matter. And I just have to say, the developers always have their own minds. And sometimes they make decisions that I would not support. But let's see, maybe this time they have really agreeable decisions and stuff that I would say is really helping the classes that they change. Yeah, I don't know. But there are a lot of potential candidates, I think, to just rework them completely. I think Viva is a very good example. I think Viva is a nice elite spec from the design perspective, but I think it's just power crept by all the other specs. So I think it would be really cool if they get more stability or protection access and maybe make it a bit interesting in that sense. Maybe, I don't know. On a completely different note, which class do you think comes closest to the movement skills of Guild Wars 1 of the Dervish? I think the fastest class in PvE is Daredevil. So if you don't use mounts to move fast, which is probably the case in this Winterberry farm, I always used Daredevil with the dodge that gives you swiftness and moves you forward. So this is really, really nice. And it's really fast. I can show you. It's really, really fast. Give me a second. I think if you just use it for farming, I think that's probably the way to go. I don't have it here, but okay, it's fine. So you would go Daredevil and use this dodge, because this dodge lets you move forward and gives you swiftness while evading, obviously. So this is fast. And then you run Daredevil with a short bow, and then you can teleport with your short bow all the time. That makes it really fast if you combine that with your dodge. And then I would go with maybe those utility skills, because this one gives you 2 dodges. So you can dodge, activate it, dodge again, teleport, and you're really fast. Yeah. So this is really good. And then you can use your shadow step, which is another teleport, which you can just use to teleport. It's also nice because you can teleport back, which is somewhat useful if you want to go back, because it's a dead end or something that you walked in. And the last one I would say is Infiltrator Signet. It's a 1200 range teleport to a target. Of course, you have to be careful not to hit it, because then you will get in combat and will be slower. But if you use it like that, you have another shadow step. So if you use all of those, you get a quite fast thing. And then you can use Channeled Vigor. So dodge again, all your dodges empty, and use your healing skill, get some endurance back, almost 2 dodges again. With this trait, no, which one is it? This one, you get even more endurance, and then you can dodge and make it even faster. So there's a lot of things to go for. And then last but not least, if you really want to optimize, you could also go with Shadow Arts and what is it? No, not acrobatics. Shadow Arts and yeah, it's trickery. So that you get more, maybe like this, to get some swiftness. But more importantly, you can now steal from enemies, and this is really nice because it doesn't deal any damage, and you can port to them from 1200 range, and it doesn't bring you into the in combat, and you have so many teleports. All your skills are used for movement, so I think it's really strong. If you just want to optimize it for speedrunning, that's also, this similar setup is used for speedrunning, for example dungeons or something, because it's very fast and very strong in that sense. But nowadays it's not that necessary anymore, because most people just have mounts, and you can just mount up and use for example Jackal or even the Roller Beetle to move very fast from A to B. But if you don't want to use mounts, or if you have to consistently dismount to, for example, gather winter berries, this would be my setup for sure. Yeah, it's perfect for farming. It's perfect. I did that for years for winter berries. Nowadays I have way too much of them. I don't need them anymore. We don't need them for anything anymore. It's just legacy stuff I can show you. I have still much of them lying around. Back in the day, you used it to farm ascended trinkets and stuff. Exactly, it's more about the avoidance of mobs. Yeah, that's why I think this is really good. So you can see I have quite a lot of currency lying around, and also winter berries, for example. So I know what I'm talking. I did a lot of that stuff when it was brand new. So I don't know, 8 years ago. I don't know when it came out. Living World Season 3 content. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, nowadays it's not useful for me anymore. I have everything that you can unlock with this, and of course I also have all the legendary stuff here, all of them that I need. But in the end, it's a very nice thing to do. I find it really relaxing, the farm, and you can do that actually on every single character. It's not account bound; it's daily bound, so you can actually farm it quite decently. It might be the case that you only can farm, I don't know, maybe a few characters, and after that it completely despawns, but I'm not completely sure about that. But I think it's a very high amount of stuff that you can get per day, if you really need the winter berries. So let's see if we can get something more. Yeah, welcome back, Filthy Cashier. Yeah, I think it's always cool if you have classes that are really nice in a particular thing to use, because I think it's important to have some kind of class identity. I think it's really boring if you have classes that are doing damage and every single 9 of them look the same. If you have a DPS build, they look all the same. I think it's really cool that you have something in PvE that is filling a very specific niche, but it does it really well. I think that's really cool. And I think this is not really necessary anymore in the game, which is quite sad. But I really like it that there is the possibility with the Daredevil spec to make a really, really fast spec that is not fighting at all. It's just about moving fast from A to B and having no possibility to mount, for example. That's really cool. That's why it's so really, really cool to play in dungeons, for example, because in dungeons you are not allowed to use any mounts because it was content before then, and therefore it's really good there. So a question from YouTube: if you only could play just one profession, which one would you use? That's a tough choice for me. I would probably say right now it would be Mesmer, just because of how very, very good it is currently, right, on every single game mode, and how much fun I have with all the specs. That might change in the future, especially if they nerf, for example, the spear, because I think one of the most important things about it is that I really enjoy the spear loop. It's so fun, it's so, yeah, just dynamic. And that's why I would just go for this one. But yeah, I think I in the future often changed my opinion on that. So that's just the current take. Just killing those guys so that I get credit for the event here. Maybe, maybe not. Nice, I got it. Very good. Yeah, I think it's the class identity of Catalyst is a little bit, yeah, you have another button to press. That's it. I think actually this button is just, the addition of this button is actually not the real identity of Catalyst. To be honest, I think the real identity of Catalyst is this trait, Elemental Epitope. That you get an aura based on the current attunement that you are in. I think that is the current idea of Catalyst. It's not used at all in PvE, which is really sad, but it's very decent in my opinion as an idea. But sadly, they just didn't do anything with it other than giving you a new combo field. So that's definitely not the way to go. Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal if you have different ideas about which class is the only one that you would like to play. And I also think if I had to choose to only play one class, it is very likely that I will quit the game after a month or so, because I really enjoy playing different classes. If you look at my characters that I play, I would say I play at least 5 characters every single day. And I mean play them. So not just log in to do some, I don't know, opening a chest and logging out. No, I mean play them for at least maybe 20 minutes or something. Yeah. So I think this is definitely my enjoyment of the game, having different specs to play. Yeah. Don't forget to enter the giveaway, !ticket in the chat. On Twitch, you get the chance of winning 60 gold skins. Oh, we have a Zerg fight coming up. Very nice. And subscribers get double the luck again, as always. Oh, we have the legend here. Petergeist. I think he's the person with the most kills in World vs. World. I think he is Ultimate Dominator 9 or something. I think it's crazy. I think Thief is a really interesting spec. I think Thief is the one spec where I would say your class identity is so much in control of the builds that almost every single build feels like a Thief, and that holds it back to some extent, because Deadeye and Daredevil and Core Thief feel almost like the same class with a little bit of a different twist, but they can't fill every single role, which is totally fine in my opinion. But a lot of people don't enjoy having a thief that can heal and stuff. I think that makes sense. But ANET really tries to change that. No, I think we can't win those. Yeah, I'm not sure. So crazy, the boon balling. They sit on each other and no one gets damaged. I hope they address this. I think World vs. World is a little bit too slow for my taste here. So that we can just stand in each other, and because everyone is playing 3 healers in the squad, it's not, or 3 supporters, it's not feeling very great in my opinion. I don't know, maybe we have some moles in our team. I hope not, but it's probably quite likely actually. You never know. Yeah. So I'm really thinking when I can activate the guild mission. We need exactly 1 level of experience in 30 minutes. I think that's definitely doable, but I have to know that I will get a cap of something, so a keep or tower, to make this guild vision work. Let's see. Okay, what? I'm not sure. Tempest. So Tempest, I would say, is, in my opinion, in a really good spot in every single game mode. So I'm not sure if they will change Tempest in any way with the balance patch, I have to be honest. So how would I learn a new class? That's interesting question from YouTube. I would try to take a look at the build that you want to play. For example, if you are Necromancer Enjoyer and you want to play Harbinger, I would take a look at the build, would take a look at the gear that I need, get the gear, would read all the skills so that I really know what the skills do, and then take a look at the rotation just to understand how the rotation would work in PvE, and maybe try it out on the Golem just to make sure that I understand the concept and stuff. And then I would play it for quite a while in almost every content that I can get. So if I'm going into strike missions, I want to go for strike missions and try it there, and maybe even raids, and just try to get better at it. And that's true for every single game mode. So if I would run a new class, I check out the build first, read all the skills, all the utilities and stuff, the traits. And when I understand what they are doing, I just say, okay, I have to learn it to play it. And I can just do that by really training it. So I have to go into the game mode that I want to play and play it and try to get better. Don't be frustrated if I don't succeed at first. Just continue at it. That's my take how I do it. Might be different ways to do it, but in my opinion, that's the one that works for me. Okay, what is my opinion on the state of World vs. World in PvP? So for PvP, it's completely clear, in my opinion, the state of PvP is sad. Not because of the balance, or I think actually also because the developers actually try to do something for PvP. Yeah, we have new achievements, we have the PvP rush, we have even the push game mode coming up sometime soon. I think the problem is just that players are leaving consistently, and we have a really decrease of player numbers in PvP. And therefore the matchmaker makes the matches not enjoyable anymore for most people. And that leads to more people leaving, and you have somewhat of a downward spiral. So I think that's why PvP is in a really dire spot. But it's still fun to play if you enjoy just playing the game mode for what it is and having fun while getting better at it. It's not you should not go for rating. I think that's the mistake you can do, because then you will be definitely frustrated at the end of your gaming session. When it comes to World vs. World, I would say it's a decent spot. I think World vs. World needs some balance changes more than ever. But it has been worse in the future, in my opinion, when it comes to some decisions they made. And I think from the player numbers, it's actually in a very decent spot. So I would say World vs. World and Open World are the two game modes that Guild Wars 2 is actually quite decent, and a lot of people are still playing them. So this is probably, probably the case for another year or two, even if they don't change anything. But I still hope they will do some reward changes and bring even more people in World vs. World, because I think it would be really cool if you get a benefit of winning a match, so that you, I don't know, get some special thing that you only can get here, something unique from winning a matchup. Then people would care, and we would have way more interesting fights, and not only going for, I don't know, something that gives you loot bags. I think it should be also interesting to hold objectives, to maybe attack camps to interrupt the supply lines or something. Because nowadays it's not that important. You just do whatever, and in the end it doesn't matter if you win or lose. That's an interesting thing. I mean, there are always people that are just very, annoying. So filthy casual, if there are really people doing that, and you, sometimes that's the game. Yeah, you know, it's an online game, and sometimes there are people that are just really weird. And if you friendly want to try to make it better, it's not working out. So I would say that's a big problem for sure. But that will always be the case. There will always be people that are just not understanding, or maybe even trolling on purpose. So that's definitely something that they have to address, but I think it's really hard to. Why do you think people left PvP in the first place? The reason for that, I would say, is a little bit multifaceted, to be honest. I think there was a time where the balancing was really bad. So they made balance decisions that were not helping at all. And the frequency of the balance patches back in the day was more like 1 year. So they made balance decisions that were bad and then left them for a year. That made people quit, because they say, okay, they don't know what they are doing, and I don't enjoy anything from it. Yeah. So in my opinion, that's a big problem that they had back in the day. But that was not the only reason. I think there were other problems, because, for example, if you have a really, I don't know, intense or really competitive scene going on with ATs and stuff, then it might also be really cool for people to just stick around, try to find players that want to play with them, having nice group of 5 people playing together and going for monthly AT wins, going for tournament wins in general. But there is a really big gap. No, not pulled me. No. There is a really big gap between the winning teams in a monthly AT and the teams that just participate. Yeah. And this gap over the years has gotten so big that to even have a remote chance of winning a monthly AT as a new team, you have to stick together for at least a year, maybe even 2 years, and just try to win monthly ATs without having a real chance of winning them, just to train against the really good people. And this is a big problem, because that just, a lot of people say, I don't want to invest that amount of time. It's for a game that is not really alive in that sense. There is no competitive spirit in the game. No one really cares if you win a monthly AT other than the 5 people that want to get the title or something. Yeah. So no one really commits that hard. In this, nice, I knocked myself off. This is a really bad thing in that sense, because that if the competitive scene is not alive or not really working out in the end for most people, then the interest will be lost. So that is definitely something that I would say is a big problem in my opinion. Okay, I need 2 levels in the next few 20 minutes maybe. Let's see if we can make that work. So that's my analysis of the situation. There might be something missing there for sure, but yeah, I think that's just my take on the current or on the way what happened. Yeah, it will be really interesting. In 12 days, we get the choice to, or we will get voted on the teams and stuff. And in 7 days after that, we can finally play World versus World together. Maybe even we can get some commanding going on stuff. And I think it's true that the PvE is a little bit different, but I would not say actually PvE is completely opposite to that. Okay, let me give you a little bit of a history of PvE. PvE was in Guild Wars when it first came out. There was not a real end game, yeah, of PvE. The only thing that you could do was farming dungeons, yeah. And then they finally introduced fractals as a end game goal, and that's it, yeah. But most of the time, people wanted some hardcore or somewhat bigger challenge, and then they introduced with Heart of Thorns raids. And there was a time in the game that they released sometimes even 3 raids per year. Okay, 3 raid wings per year, which was really crazy, but they couldn't hold it for long. Yeah, and this was the best time for PvE, and a lot of hardcore people really enjoyed playing Guild Wars because it was really alive. But then after Raid Wing 7, we had just nothing. There was only some strike missions after that in EOD, just a single raid, just a single boss that is not even close to the complexity of a raid most of the time. So a lot of hardcore people said, okay, they abandoned the hardcore raiding scene, which was somewhat true, and they left the game. So the only people that stuck to the game were people that were enjoying open world, having fun and casual content, which is totally fine. Don't get me wrong. Everyone can do what they want to do. But at the same time, it's always good to have people that are dedicated so hard into a game mode that they know what they are doing and can make guides about it, and that you have people that are really try hard. And then was a really interesting decision with EOD that the final meta event, yeah, I don't want to spoiler here, but the final meta event in End of Dragons, in Dragon's End, was way too hard at launch. No one could beat it. Until people realized maybe we have to approach it like a raid and sort the subgroups, have somewhat decent builds, and then it was easy, or somewhat doable at least. And ArenaNet gave in after some time and nerfed it. So you have a big split in Guild Wars 2 between the casual audience of people that just play the game and want to have fun, don't care about dealing DPS. And then you have this few try-hard people that really enjoy raid fractal content. And this is a big issue in that sense, because most people that are on Twitch, for example, are also more knowledgeable about the game, or at least want to know more. The people that I'm talking here that are playing Dragon's End, for example, and are instantly killed by the first attack of the boss, they don't care about going in and reading about guides and learning the class and stuff. So they just want to have fun, which is totally fine. But there's a big split to make content for those guys, and at the same time make content for people that enjoy hardcore raids, maybe even challenge modes like Harvest Temple CM, which also came with EOD at some point. So this is really interesting. And so I think it's really important to have a healthy player base in every single aspect, not only in open world content and casual content, but also in a hardcore scene. It doesn't need to be the case that you only have a hardcore scene or only an open world thing, but you should have a little bit of a mix. You don't have to have crazy amount of hardcore people, but there should be enough to make it somewhat alive. And now they continue to push that out with some legendary challenge modes, with some challenge modes in general. So with, for example, Saros CM, Harvest Temple CM. Those are really cool, and they were yeah, world's first races even for, I think Ceros took 7 days or something. So it's really cool that you have those kind of content releases as well. And I really hope the next big changes will also happen with the next update. So the next update in February should also bring some challenge modes. So maybe it will also take quite a while to beat them, which will probably satisfy at least the hardcore community for a little bit, which would be cool. So I really hope that will be the case. But we don't know. So I would say, I agree, PvE is in a much healthier spot, but I would say it has not been the case all the time. There was definitely a while where it didn't happen, where PvE was only casual and not really hardcore friendly. And the sad part is the content amount that we get is just not enough for most people, yeah, to stick around, because hardcore people also require a lot of content because they put a lot of hours in. So ArenaNet can't really satisfy those. So they will typically come and play when there is a patch, when there is a new raid coming out, when there's a new CM coming out, and that's it. Which is fine, but it's obviously better if you have people that are sticking around all the time. Yeah, and that's a really good point by Katja. It's not only about the people participating. It's only a small amount of people that really participate in the world's first race. But it's also a lot of people that are just joining in on Twitch, on YouTube, and all the platforms, social media. So I think it's a really, really cool thing to have as a marketing thing. And I think ArenaNet realized that, and that's why they want to continue with that. Because they already announced that there will be another Legendary Challenge mode coming in a few months. So that's definitely a good thing, in my opinion. No. Yeah, so that's my take. I think it's also very important to bring in new players. It's not always about having people that are very experienced and keeping them, but it's also about getting new players in. And I think world's first races and also interesting new content is definitely something that helps getting attention to the audience. Because if you don't get new players, in the end, you will definitely lose players overall. There are always people quitting the game, so that's just how it goes. Yeah, I think it's always hard to keep up. Even the really big MMOs like Final Fantasy can't keep up with the content that people need. That's just how it's designed. You can't have enough people producing content while still having somewhat, I don't know, I don't know, if you can, some people can't spend 10 euros per month on a game. And if the developers then have to come out with an approach that makes it still worthwhile to produce enough content, yes, that's good, but most of the time they can't. They have to make a decision which content they can produce because they don't have infinite money. So that's a big issue in my opinion. Or not issue, but a big problem, at least they have to face. Yeah. I think that's a good idea here from YouTube, that we should take a look at existing meta events and stuff in open world and reuse them as maybe convergences with CM and stuff. Maybe even raids. I think that is a good approach, that they now reuse models with the Titans in not only open world, but also convergences and raids to make them the work that they put into it, the content, to make it more, just worth it for them. And I think that's a smart thing. Some people criticize that, but in the end, I would rather have content with reused assets than have no content at all. So that's my take on the matter. But yeah, let's see what they can come up with. I think there will be a expansion announcement rather soon. I think in the next month, they will announce the next expansion of Guild Wars, which will probably happen in August or something. So I hope there will be much more content, for sure. And I definitely see some meta events like Dragon's Den being a really cool convergence. If you make it a challenge mode and make it really, you have to speed up the NPC to make it really fast, to make it in time, and then have a really cool end fight in Dragon's Den. I think that's really cool to revive old content. Why not? I think one problem there is that it might feel a little bit, all the instance content make the game feel a little bit less alive because you can't encounter the people anymore in the open world. But in the end, I would say that's not that big of an issue. If enough people do it and you have an alive scene and you feel that the LFG is alive, that you have people even streaming it, making content about it, I think that's okay then in the end. But that's just my take. Yeah. We are almost there. Very nice. I will capture this camp and then I'll probably have it, yeah. Perfect. You're helping me. Very good. Very good. I'm doing the same, but my team wiped, so I can't help them. I survived. I tried my best. Yeah, don't forget to enter the giveaway. !ticket in the Twitch chat. And now we have it, I think. Yeah, that's enough. Perfect. Thanks for your help, Filthy. I also donated some stuff to the guild today, and I want to do the first upgrades. And nice, there we go. Welcome, Fefe. We are doing a Blackline skin giveaway. Those two skins here are around 60 gold. You have to be a Twitch follower to win. Subscribers get double the luck. Just !ticket in the chat. Yeah, I think it's a big issue that people don't seem to realize that you as a player will always be faster in consuming the content that developers put out than the people that are behind the game and develop the game and just need a lot of effort, a lot of time to invest into the content to make it work. So I think it's really important to understand you will never be satisfied if you put 12 hours or something in a game every single day. Or let's say you put even, let's say just put in maybe 3 hours a day. Yeah, and you will succeed clearing every single content in the game after a while. And it's really hard for the developers to make enough content, even for people like 2 hours a day people. So it's a difficult thing, because at the same time you don't want the game to get more expensive, because people always say, oh, I can't spend enough money to get this game, it's too expensive. Guild Wars 2 is not a subscription-based game, so you'd have to make it work anyway. And at the same time, you don't want to have people complaining about having the best skins in the gem store, which is the other marketing thing that ArenaNet does. So yeah, it's a big deal. And I think there will always be people that are unhappy about this for sure. But what can you do? I mean, ArenaNet I think are somewhat honest in how they make their money. It's not that we don't get any skins. And nowadays, I would actually say it's better than it has been before. So it's not that much of a obnoxious model to make money, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it's Guild Wars 2 has always been marketed as a casual game, as a game for people that are just playing the game for fun. They don't want to play an hardcore grindy MMO. But in the end, I think to have a hardcore player base, at least a bit, is definitely helping and improving the game for sure. So, in my opinion, that's definitely worthwhile to invest time in and find sweet spot where you have people playing every single game mode is definitely something that I would say is worthwhile for the developers to do so. I think it's important to not abandon specific game modes, but I think at some point, especially in Guild Wars case, you have too many people to satisfy. You have to make a cut at some point. Thanks for the follow, Fefe and Sniper. Thanks a lot. So, Guild Wars 2 has PvP. Guild Wars 2 has World versus World, has instance content, has open world. It's at some point it gets really hard to satisfy all those people with content. So I think it's really important to make clever decisions. One of them, in my opinion, is making nice and frequent balance patches, because that keeps people playing that are like me, that want to try out some new builds, that have fun playing different stuff, even in the old content. So I think this is definitely something that they should invest more time in. But that might just be my take. Not a lot of people, or not all of them at least, are agreeing to this. So yeah, I guess that's just how it goes. And we can't change it anyway. ArenaNet has their own mind in a lot of decisions, so you never know. So it's the greens and the reds here. Maybe I can hit some of them to get more. Let me live. Never mind. Okay. Yeah, I think it's really nice that Guild Wars 2 has the horizontal progression, because that keeps people interested in the game that are casual, because they don't have to play the game consistently to always have the highest gear score. That's really cool. And I also think it's a really smart move, because that also makes the game more content they produce nowadays will be alive for the next 5 years. Yeah. You can go back and play Veil Guardian. Yes, it's a little bit power crept, but it's not as much as, for example, in Final Fantasy or WoW, where old content from 8 expansions ago or 5 expansions ago is just, you can one-shot it almost, just because your gear gets better. In Guild Wars, it's not the case, so old content still stays relevant. And I think this is a really good thing to have in a game. Definitely makes sense. But it's also another downside at the same time, because people like to have a carrot that they can chase. And it's very easy to just have a gear treadmill and say, oh, I need a better gear here. So that's what they are going for. But in Guild Wars, it's a little bit more sandboxy. You have to set your own goals, and that's what keeps people playing. But if you are not a person that does this, you might quit fast, because you have the highest amount of gear and you don't know what to do after that. So I think that's definitely an issue at the same time. But I agree. I like the horizontal progression as well. That's why I play Guild Wars 2 in the end. Yeah, I think the biggest strength in Guild Wars 2 PvE is actually the open world. The large-scale meta events, but also the big maps with all the nice content and events. I think this is the biggest strength that we have in Guild Wars 2. And they should market it more around that. I think they don't have their strengths in creating story stuff or even raid bosses. I think they should market it more with the open world stuff in mind. I think this is really, really good in Guild Wars. And the same goes for open world PvP, like you can see what I'm doing here. Tell me one other game that has nice and this strategic but still dynamic open world PvP. I think there is none. I think this is the best and most dynamic combat open world PvP. So I really hope that they will get more people, more traction in this game mode, and maybe market it even. It would be amazing if they could market this game mode as well. Yeah, that's just how it is. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Katya. I think it's important to shift the meta in a way that people that are still playing the game have something new to enjoy. It doesn't have to be in a sense that the new player that just learned Reaper can't use it anymore, but it has to be a little bit, shaking up, that you have to try out new builds, making maybe a rework of an underused spec, so that just someone that enjoys going for new build crafting, new possibilities, has the possibility to do so. Because if you don't give any balance patches, why should you try out something new? Because it will be the same as the last time you tried it. So I really hope that they make some somewhat big changes with the next balance patch that will come in February. I really hope it's not coming to mobile. It might be the future of gaming, but I don't have to like it. So that's just my take, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think this is not only, I think everyone has the opinion at some point that the other games always have better kind of this, better this. I think it's definitely, the grass is always green on the other side. I think this is such a common take in human mentality that it's just very natural. And I think that's not good. I enjoy the game so much, so I think I try to enjoy it for what it is, but at the same time I also think it's important to say this should be better, this should be worse, or not worse, but should be not focused that much on. For example, I think it might be a hot take, but I'm not sure if the push game mode is the right thing to do. Yeah, in my opinion, for example, push is not as good as if they would have done a proper tutorial for Conquest. But that's just my take, yeah. Maybe they prove me wrong here, but something like that is always old, yeah. Yeah, also I'm not the biggest fan of mobile games, just because they are most of the time just cash grabs and not that deep. But sometimes they have some nice games, but I'm just more enjoyable about playing with keyboard and mouse and stuff. That's just how I enjoy my gaming. Yeah, I think it's really important I think it's also important to compare yourself to just the competition. For example, if World of Warcraft comes up with a new mount, a new idea of endless content, for example, why not implement it in Guild Wars 2 as well? They stole the sky scale from you. Why not make the content the same for Guild Wars 2, that you also steal some really cool ideas? No, they got us. Yeah, I think, Winslow, I'm with you there. I think push will not get that many more people into game mode, because it's not really that much easier to get into, and it will just split the player base, and I think that's not something you want to have. But maybe that's just my take. Just need to hydrate a bit here. Yeah. Yeah, I think to be honest, it would be a great idea to go back to old content like the Sidearm fight and make it somewhat more modern. And why not, for example, make the Sidearm fight a new fractal? Reuse old assets and make it more of a cool fight, a modern fight. Why not do it? I think that something like that has less development time than making a completely new thing. At least that's my naive opinion. Of course, I could be wrong there, because Guild Wars 2 has apparently quite a spaghetti code, so it's not that easy to do stuff that seems easy, sometimes at least. That's why I also think it's very likely that if there will be a Guild Wars 3 in the future, they will have a completely new engine, like Unreal Engine and stuff. But that's far in the future, I would say. But that's just my take. Yeah, you never know. Yeah, I think it depends on the game. Yeah, I think I play games that have nice controller settings as well, but I think Guild Wars is not one of them. At least Guild Wars 2. I think I'm always enjoying having a keyboard and a mouse, but some games, I agree, are somewhat worthwhile to play with controller for sure. Yeah, I think that was my idea as well. I really hope that with the next expansion, they bring up content that is endless and you can maybe even do solo. Yeah. So that you have some, maybe make it solo or 5-person. Yeah. So that you have both options and you have endless content that is a little bit procedural generated. So it's changing every time you go in. And you have some endless grinds like delving or something in PoE or World of Warcraft, as far as I understand. That would be really cool because I think Guild Wars 2 has a lot of people that play the game without really interacting with anyone. Yeah, it's an MMO, but everyone plays it alone. Might seem stupid, but I think that's how people do it. Yeah, a lot of them at least. I was doing that for years, and why not create content for them that is a really good grind and keeps them playing because it's somewhat different each time. I think that would be amazing. I'm not sure if they can pull it off because of the engine, because it's really old. Guild Wars 2's engine is based on Guild Wars 1's engine. And Guild Wars 1, as far as I know, was released in 2024. So I think 2004 to 2006 was it developed, the engine. So it's really, really old. So I think that would be really cool. Yeah. If you had something that made people stick to the game that are just playing solo. Because nowadays, if you don't grind meta events, there is not much to do as a solo player most of the time, after some extent. Yeah? If you don't want to go for all legendaries, if you don't have the sandboxy mindset to have new goals for yourself all the time, then it's really hard to stick to the game as a solo player. Because the community is definitely a thing that keeps players playing for way longer than if you had no community. Yeah, I think it would be really cool if you have... have to be honest, it might be a little bit hard for them to make it work, that it works nicely, the scaling issue, so that you have content that can be played alone, and as soon as you put in more people, it gets a little bit harder and gets more people and it gets way harder, so something like this. So scaling from 1 to 5-person content, that would be crazy. That would be really cool. If it would be something that is very worthwhile to do, and I think the very important part here is it should be endlessly grindable. So Arena that is really reluctant to put in content that is, how is it called? Rewarding forever. So if you do fractals once a day, that's it. You lose almost, let's say, 80% of the rewards if you did them once already this day. But why not have a content in the game that you can do 10 hours straight if you want to? That would be so cool, because then you can just say, okay, I have a nice gaming evening today. I play a lot of this content. And then the next 2 days you don't have enough time and you still get enough gold to buy the new legendary, for example. That would be really cool. Yeah, maybe something like a roguelike mode that you have to just restart every now and then. Why not? But I think first they should really nail down the procedural generated stuff, that it is somewhat decent to play. I think the roguelite elements makes the game way more complex most of the time. So I think it's more important to put down really good content first, and then you can think about how to make it even more rewarding or more different than other content in the future. I think that's definitely... But I would really like some endless content in PvE as well. I think PvP and World vs. World always have endless content if you have somewhat of a balancing going on and some changes to the current meta and stuff, then you have always some kind of content for all people. But when it comes to PvE, I think there is always some kind of limit if you don't have AI generated stuff. Okay, we died. I mean, was a good fight. Yeah, I would really love some kind of grinding element in Guild Wars 2 for people that enjoy that, because that would be a really nice marketing feature, yeah, in my opinion. Why not? Yeah, I think it's that's one thing that I also mentioned, that they should change the reward structure in World vs. World so that you get more rewarded for playing the game mode. But I would say World vs. World got way better. If you look back maybe 5 years ago, if you played like I do, you wouldn't have gotten that much. But now you get so much from the defense events, from the objectives. For example, if you would capture Stonemist Castle, because it's tier 3, we get way more experience. So I think all of that is really cool. They made a lot of changes on that. But I agree, there are definitely more ways to improve in the future when it comes to reward structures in PvP and World vs. World. Okay, I think it's time for the giveaway. I hope you're all in. Exclamation mark ticket in the chat. You have to be a Twitch follower to win. And subscribers get double the luck. Last chance. Okay, Filthy Casual already in. Too many tickets. Let's see who wins this time. And final Prodigy. Prodigy, I hope you're still here. No problem. If you're here, congrats. Perfect. Let me know your account name. I will send you the loot, the skins. And then we will open another giveaway. Perfect. Congrats again. And let's open the next one. Give me a second. Okay, it's open. Everyone can enter again. Exclamation mark ticket in the chat. You have to be a Twitch follower to win. Subscribers get double the luck. This time we have I would say, how much is it? Almost 60 gold. 50 gold. It will go up in price. Be sure to not sell it if you don't use it right now, because it will for sure go up. In the last month it went up by double the price, so this will definitely go up to 100 gold. And let's play some more World vs. World. Let's see. Yeah, maybe Katja, maybe this time it's the day. I mean, there are not many people currently entering the giveaway, so the chances are quite high. So, and I will do more giveaways in the future, so if you stick around, you will for sure win in the future as well. I have to be honest, I'm the same. I think I never won a big giveaway, or any giveaway for that matter. And I was sticking a lot in streams that did giveaways, so sometimes you're just unlucky. Yeah, no problem. I'm always trying to return something to my viewers. And it was one of the last leftovers of my 2000 Blackline chest key openings. So I thought, before I sell all of those skins, why not give them away? Exactly. We will do a legendary giveaway in the future. And I will be, Katja, I think you might be a very, very likely winner here. But it's not there yet. So I'm still saving up so that I can do the giveaway. Yeah, but I really hope that the balance patch that they preview on Friday will really change things up, because like I said, it's not only about the competitive modes. I also think it's really nice to have somewhat of the flavor of the month in PvE. That doesn't mean you make a build completely unplayable. I think it's important to have every single build that you can go for. For example, if you're a Reaper enjoyer, you should play Reaper, and it's always good. But I think it would be really cool if you have, for example, top DPS right now is maybe like something like a Condi Willbender, maybe a power Spear Catalyst, which is really hard, no one plays that, or a power Tempest. But why not bring something else up? Why not make Condi Renegade the best? Yeah, just a little bit, just by maybe 500, 1k more, and then everyone would play that because it's the best DPS, right? Yeah, so that would not change that much because people still can play the old content on the old builds, but that would drive people that want to min-max, to optimize, to go for different builds. So even in PvE, I would advocate for frequent balance patches that not change the gear that you need, but change which classes are currently the best. I think that would be really cool. I mean, maybe Filthy Casual just dreaming. You're just dreaming that you want to get it done and want to get some nice rewards. I think you also already won at some point, didn't you? In any case, if you stick around, every one of you will get something in the future for sure. Yeah. For sure you will return it, for sure. See, everyone wants your power. No, I think I am always happy to make giveaways and stuff, but of course I really hope that you are all here because you also enjoy somewhat my content and not only because of the giveaways. Okay, maybe we can defend this. I have some really spicy videos on YouTube planned, so let's see if we get more content from the comments, because I plan to make a nice video summary about all the YouTube comments that I got that are somewhat funny. But I have some spicy videos coming up, and maybe, just maybe, we can find some interesting takes in the comment section then. I think that's always very, very fun. Yeah, nice, Timo. Glad you enjoy my content. I try my best, but I'm always, really can't stress that enough. If you have any feedback, any criticism, anything that can help me improve my content, please let me know. I'm always happy to, yeah, just improve in general. So let me know that. Now I'm not always doing giveaways, just having some stuff lying around right now. So that's why I'm doing them. I don't want to be the giveaway guy. I want to be someone that is watched because of other stuff as well, and not only the giveaways. Yeah, the Hybrid Tempest in PvP is just really good right now. I would say you have to know how to play it, because it's not the most damaging build, but it has really, really crazy sustain potential. So playing the Sage variant of Tempest in PvP right now is I would say, a quite easy build to play, because the skill ceiling is high, but the skill floor is low. So I think you can easily learn it and get into it, especially if you're an Elementalist enjoyer. But I would not go for it if you already have a side node. If you have 2 side nodes, sometimes it's a little bit, you don't have enough damage, but it's really cool. Sure, yeah. Always happy to get some secret questions, yeah. Yeah. I think the crazy thing, I'm also running it here, even though I'm playing a completely different build. Those two traits, they buffed them so hard. Auras, you grant regeneration and vigor. So you get vigor and regen, not only to you, but also to your allies. And then with this trait, every single time you grant vigor, you give your allies 10 endurance. Doesn't seem like much, but if you grant yourself an aura and you grant yourself vigor, you get so much uptime of this that you can easily push that out again. And the 10-second ICD here is only for the vigor that you get by tuning to water. It's not the endurance. If you then combine that with the cleansing water trait, that whenever you get regen, you cleanse a condition, that makes this build extremely strong because you also get a condi cleanse from the auras. And then you have this aura that in PvP is a ammunition skill. So you can spam this and you proc this trait, and this trait just with one skill twice. You see where I'm going, why this is so good. It's so crazy how much synergy you have. And I think this is really cool. Those are the buffs we enjoy as players. When you have really cool synergies going on. Yeah. So that's definitely a cool thing. Yeah. Let's see if they can make something else like that work. Would be really nice, definitely in the future. But I think Elementalist was always a class that has a lot of synergies. I think Mesmer and Elementalist are those two classes that have so much trait synergies. Sometimes you don't even know which trait lines you want to go for because all of them would be really worthwhile to run in a specific build. It's an interesting question, Filthy Casual. If you could choose to become immortal, would you want to? Or would you immediately decline? For me personally, I would say it depends on the conditions, but most of the time I wouldn't want to be immortal my whole life. I wanted to have a long life that is a happy life, but I think it's important to have something that makes you enjoy the journey that you have. So if you know the journey won't end, I think you don't value the stuff that you have in your time that you live, that much at least. So I think it's, for me, I would say being immortal is not the thing that I would choose most of the time. Depends a bit on the situation, but in this context, I would say if I don't have any conditions to it, I wouldn't want to be immortal. I just want to enjoy my life as long as I can because I know I have a limited time, so I can enjoy everything that I do. That's just my take. But yeah. Now they left. Sad. Let's go back to roaming then. No, they didn't leave. They are here. Yeah, I don't think we can defend this is too, but we can try. I think it would be really cool if we get more Zerg play on the next reset, because I think on this one we have one Zerg on one map and that's it. I really hope that the next reset we get and the restructuring, that we have a little bit more squad play, because I think that makes at least prime time World versus World extremely interesting. Yeah, it's interesting, yeah, how there is so much content put out that is just about advertising and I don't know, just about attention-seeking content, I would say. I think that's a big problem. But I have to say, at the same time, because of this development, a lot of people nowadays have actually gone into a little bit of an opposite direction as well. At least I feel like, to make content that is definitely knowingly chilled down, more relaxed, that you don't have that attention-seeking stuff, and people are sick of having those really advertisings, just really attention-seeking content scheme, and people really like to have some chilled, laid-back content. And I think that's really crazy if you had something like that more into gaming thing. I'm not sure about. I don't watch that much content, I have to be honest, when it comes to gaming content outside from Guild Wars 2 and stuff, because I'm just very busy with creating my own content and just having something currently to work other than that as well. So I'm a little bit busy in my real life as well. But I think maybe I have to do something similar about just this debating stuff. I have some ideas about that for videos in the future as well, where I talk a little bit more about just general discussion debates without any real crazy editing, and just some like a podcast style content where I just debate or just bring up my opinion and want to get your opinion on it. I think that would be really interesting. Would you be also interested in that, or do you think that's not something that at least the current community that I have is not interested in? Because I think I would be interested to do this content, to produce it, but I'm not sure if you would be interested in watching it, because that's in the end what counts. Yeah, it wouldn't be like a typical rant. I don't want to be, I'm not the person that really rants about something and it goes really mad German, you know. I'm more like a relaxed, considerate person. But I would do just a discussion, a debate about something where I express my opinion on a matter, which might be something of a hot take, might be something of opinionated, biased take. Yes, but just giving you my ideas. I mean, would be interesting. I agree. If I would always do content of the same type, always ranting about the same topic, I think that would work out in the beginning. But at some point, you would just lose attention, because people would always say, "Okay, I mean, this video is the same like always." But sometimes this works, you know. Sometimes that works. I agree. But so the patch, Timo, will be in February, at the middle of February or something. So we will just get the preview on Friday. So that's why we are speculating. I think the preview is even more exciting than the patch itself, because the preview, you have all your hopes up. You think, that will be the patch. And then when the preview happened, the patch is not that exciting anymore, because you know exactly what will happen. So that's just my opinion, but I think that... yeah, there will be definitely some PvP. PvP, PvE. I think there will be everything in there. I really hope big changes, but let's see. Yeah, I think when I would do something like this, just more general, maybe gaming related stuff, where I talk about developments about gaming or my opinion on some decisions ArenaNet does, or just spread out, broaden a bit in the scope that my content is created, more like a podcast style about stuff that is interesting to me, maybe interesting to you. I think that would be more like, I want to give you a take on a specific topic, and then next video it will be a different topic that is not attention seeking, but it's a different topic that is currently mattering to some extent, either to me or to something. For example, last week I did a video about Guild Wars 3. Will it come? Will it not come? And I think this was a rumor that was spreading around last week, so I thought, oh, why not make a video about it and give you my take. But something like this, I think is nice because it sparks debate. And I think healthy debate is something very worthwhile doing. Yeah. Yeah, why not like upper echelon? Why not? I think that's a cool idea. Yeah. If you can make it work, of course, you need to make it work in a sense that people want to watch you. I'm not sure if I'm the person that can make it work, but I at least can try. Yeah. Let's go for the camp. Do you really think there will be a big buff for Willbender? That would be crazy. I really think if they do that, there will be more people complaining than ever before. That would not even be a hot take if they would really buff Willbender. I think that would be insane. But oh, there are many people here. Maybe we can kill someone. I was having I think I actually released this clip where I killed one person in a 1v7. I can't kill those guys. There's too many. But I can this red guy. Told you. We discussed it earlier, Maxi. But I actually think it's more Willbender. I think the spear itself, if you nudge down the damage a bit, is okay. The problem is if you just nudge down the damage of spear, you will just use greatsword. So that's the same problem. So you have to nudge down something else as well, like the traits or the virtues. That's my take on it. That would be interesting. I mean, Angry German, I think there are a lot of people that do something like that. I don't know. I think I'm not the Angry German type of guy, but it would be a fun thing to do for sure. For two-man PvP, what is a good combination? I think either as a support player with a nice team fighter, so to carry every single team fight, like support Tempest with maybe some Willbender, or maybe Chronomancer with Willbender, or support Tempest with Reaper, something like that, or Condi Ref. That could be a really decent, crazy good comp. And maybe we can defend this. Oh, there are 3 people. Let's go. Okay. Yes, this guy seems very squishy. Let me concentrate for a bit. I want to win this. Okay, we got the first one. Someone. Okay. This guy is dead. This guy is dead. And this guy is also dead. Very nice. We got them. Got them good here. 1v3. Yeah, Necromancer and support is really good. And other than that, I would say a duelist and a teamfight carry can also work very well, so that you don't have to play on one node, you can split your attention. That works really well as well. Yeah, so that's my take. Let's quickly catch up. Yeah, I think if you play Willbend and support Mesmer, I have to be honest, I would really be surprised if they would let you live. I think this next patch will definitely tackle support Mesmer and on support Mesmer not so much, but the spear in general on Mesmer and the Guardian Willbender spec, definitely. But let's see. I hope they don't butcher it. They just change it in a way that it makes it a little bit more, I don't know, just more fair to counter, that you can kill them and don't have to always fear that they will just kill you before you kill them if you play anything else. Yeah, side note Roma is also very good if you know what you're doing. I think if you play a side noding build and you might lose 1-on-1s, then that's not the way to go. You definitely have to be a good side noder to make that work, because side noding sometimes is, for example, if the enemy plays a previously mentioned Sage Tempest build, it often feels like the Sage Tempest doesn't have to be really good. They can just stall the 1-on-1 so long that you don't get any value from being a duelist, even if you're better than them. So that has to be taken into account. Dash has the question, do you have any pets? No, I don't have any pets. I don't have anything against pets, but I currently don't have any. Maybe in the future. I think that's a very debated thing. I saw a recent statistic or something about how much people in Germany, at least, that's where I live, how many people have pets, and it's actually insane. I was not believing how many people have actually pets. I think it's over 50% of people have at least one pet. This is, to me, actually crazy, because I don't know that many people that have pets in that sense. I don't know every second person that has a pet. I think that's crazy. But apparently that's the case. Nothing going on here. Sad. Really hope for some circle action here. But at least Filthy Casual and I could make the guild mission work, so thanks for that again. I can start some upgrades later. Yeah, it depends a little bit where you live. That's true. Sometimes people in a specific part of the town or wherever have more pets than others. I think in where I live, all my neighbors don't have a pet. That's the interesting part. And it's actually not because of the regulation. It's just by chance. So it depends where you live, I think, for sure. I don't know where my giveaway marker went. Give me a second. It's still ongoing, the giveaway. So if you want to enter, !ticket in the chat. And followers you have to be a follower to win, and subscribers have double the luck. Galen, apparently you're already in, so no problem there. Oh, there are again more people coming. I think I can win this. Oh, it's a staff weaver. Not a good choice. Sorry, that's not very likely to win against this build. Okay, I got them. Yeah, better safe than sorry, for sure. Doesn't hurt to write it twice. That's true. Another one approaches. Okay. This is a Power Reaper. It's a little bit scary actually for this build, because he has a lot of consistent damage, with a full Shroud at least. But I got the Shroud down and I think now they are dead. Okay. They want more. It's King of the Hill. Very nice. Ooh. No, I think it's very likely that there will be changes to Willbender. I think that will be the case, but I think you should not be scared. There will be not big changes in that sense that the build is totally unplayable. I really doubt it. I think that will not happen. I think they will try to nudge it down in a healthy spot, but not make it completely unplayable. ArenaNet typically does nerfs from step to step. They are not really completely destroying a build most of the time. Sometimes they do, but most they don't. So I would say you can definitely play it later again as well, but it might for sure be not that broken anymore as it currently is. Which is, I think, a good thing. You don't want to have builds that are broken for years. This is currently Dagger Catalyst for World vs. World, making use of this trait to have almost all boons permanently and having a lot of Condi cleanses with Diamond Skin. Currently I'm using Celestial. I have a build guide about it on my YouTube channel. But Dagger is really power crept. It has so many blast finishers, so many nice boons with the sphere as well. It's really good. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if I play against someone else, I have the advantage. Oh, there's a Mesmer. Let me focus here on a bit. Oh, there are much more people than just a Mesmer. Let's run away. This guy will catch me here. Oh, okay. They have a lot of damage. Almost got the juke, but juked myself. I'm not sure if I will get away. There are so many people following me here. The best of the best. Nice. I got them. Easy peasy. Yeah, you should just know your opponents and the possible, I don't know, way out here. Easy peasy. Very nice. So, let's answer the question. Yeah, I think it's, so what I was saying is, if you play all the classes in Guild Wars 2, or at least tried them, maybe played them PvP, maybe played them in, I don't know, maybe as a PvE build, if you at least have an understanding how the class works, what the current build is, you know all the time what you should watch out. For example, if you face a Reaper, they have a lot of Death Shroud. If you can kite them while they have the Death Shroud, and as soon as they leave, you engage really aggressively, then they might die because they don't have the second life. You only, or not only, but you notice this way more when you play Reaper yourself. Because if I play Reaper in PvP and I have my Death Shroud up, I feel really almost invulnerable because I have my Death Shroud. I have a second life. People won't burst me. A Willbender can't burst me. But as soon as I leave, I have to be really careful because I will die in a second if someone looks at me. So if you know this about a build. And if you play various builds and you face them then in a competitive section of the game, like world versus world, like PvP, and you understand how the build works, then you can counterplay it because of that. I think that's really cool. Definitely, yeah. I think this is one of the coolest things that keeps me playing, is to always seek more knowledge about the game, about how to play it, and try to implement that in my future gameplay. I might not be the best player, but I know a lot about the game, and that helps me to get better at it. Yeah, and that's my mindset, to have fun while getting better at the game, because then I have a goal to go for. Yeah, and that's why I also play PvP, because PvP is not something that you might enjoy if you're only out for going for the highest rank, because it's really hard sometimes to carry matches. Sometimes you just feel like, okay, the matchmaker wants you to lose this match, and that feels really bad at sometimes, for sure. Yeah. I like it when you point stuff out that I try to express why I think it's important, because if you see it the same, then if you get the same value from that, it's even better. Yeah. And I feel like I try to make it appealing to other people as well, because if I can make you excited about a part of the game that you didn't enjoy before, that's a good thing for me, because then we have more people playing the specific part, and I like to play every single part of Guild Wars. So in the end, I win, and everyone wins, I would say. Now my food ran out. Okay, so don't forget, we will draw the giveaway winner in a few minutes. Don't forget to enter the giveaway. Okay, we can go there. So you are ready to craft the legendary armor. So the legendary armor is really easy. So you can see I have crafted it, and as soon as you craft it, you don't even get the item anymore. You will get the unlock here in your legendary armory, and you can just equip it on every single character that can use it. So it will just be like a switch that you unlock, and you can use it then. So it's not an item, and you can use it on every single character that you have. And that's really good. So they made this change a while back, a few years ago, I would say. Legendary armory, and it's really, really convenient. So no problem, you just unlock it, and then you have it. That's how you do it. You craft it, and as soon as you craft it, it will disappear in your wardrobe, armory, whatever. I think it was one of the best features they added, because that made legendaries way more unique, because it's not like an item anymore. It's more like a very useful thing that you can equip on every single character and template. So yeah, I really like that. I mean, you don't have to go as far as I did with all the skins and armor. I have way too many legendaries here. You see, I have sometimes I have, for example, for light, I think I might have 3 different light armor legendaries. So it's way too much. I don't need it, but for sure, yeah. Welcome, Heavenfire, welcome. You just missed a very funny clip where some people died off the cliff because they wanted to chase me. Yeah, I think all the legendaries have an amazing, how would I say, amazing convenience that you have to get, because you will just have all, especially if you like multiple builds and build crafting and stuff. Getting stuff like the relic, getting runes and stuff makes it way easier to access, because you don't have to always keep the stuff lying around. So I think it's really nice. I think the only criticism that I have, I can show you in a second, is the equipment templates in combination with the legendary stuff is really good. I really, really like it, because it's really just smoothing and making your game way more convenient. Yeah. because I can easily swap from my roaming build to my circ build, yeah, just by 2 clicks. However, if I want, for example, to have a dagger with an energy sigil here and another dagger with absorption sigil, but if I wanted to swap this energy sigil maybe to a cleansing sigil, I have to customize it, click here, yeah, and change it. But what if I wanted to do this fast, for example, in a dungeon run or in a fractal run, where I want to change the sigil to either being night from day to night, or change it from maybe a specific slaying sigil to something else, to just make it optimized, then it's really hard to do that. Legendaries, and especially the armory makes it quite, the templates makes it actually quite hard to do that. So it's actually the most optimal way to do it is use ascended weapons and have just a stash of ascended weapons laying around and swapping them with right-clicking them and saying, okay, equip this one now. So this is definitely an interesting thing that is not perfect, and maybe they will fix it in the future. I don't know how they could fix that, but it would be a really cool thing. I would like that for sure. I mean, legendary build template would be cool, but I have to be honest, I doubt that they will bring out any of those legendary stuff that they currently sell on the gem store. Yeah, because all the stuff that is on the gem store, and they would bring out a legendary that would invalidate the gem store stuff, is not very likely. So I have some templates laying around, some backslot expansions, yeah, and you can only get them from the gem store or sometimes from the Wizard's Vault, yeah. You get the build templates and storage expansions and stuff. You get them there, but other than that, you can't get them. So if they would do a legendary equipment template, all of those would be unnecessary, and I highly doubt they will do that because it's actually quite a nice thing. Yeah, but I would totally agree if they came up with a workaround or something that made it a little bit more, or a little bit less annoying to do so. Yeah, would be really great. Because I have some friends that are really into dungeon running, optimizing dungeons and fractals, and that's very hard if you don't use a lot of ascended gear, which is sad because it's in my opinion, if you have the highest gear, which is legendary, you should not have to use all ascended gear anymore. That's my take. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. We are already at the point where you can have everything in the Wizard's Vault unlocked and still are almost kept all the time. So I'm also going for the bag of coins already, which is obviously way worse than having something cool to go for, like maybe Mystic Coins, maybe templates, or Mystic Clovers like I showed, or maybe even the Legendary Starter Kit. All that stuff is way more useful than going for gold because it's so expensive. So I really hope the next one brings some nice rewards. But I think it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a good thing that you can cap out a month before the next patch will happen. Now it's 34 days before the next patch will happen. Probably. And this means that people that don't play consistently every single day or every single week still have all the time that they need to complete every single thing that they want to get here. So I think that's a really good thing. Makes it more like a really, really convenient battle pass. I mean, they are different on each template. So that's the case already. So if I have a dagger in this equipment template and swap to another one, yeah, for example, this one, I have a different stat, a different sigil here. That's working. But if you want to swap a lot of builds, for example, if you have a healing elementalist, if you have a DPS catalyst, if you have an offensive one, you fill up those templates quite fast. So that's the problem. Yeah. Yeah, I think the Wizard's Vault is one of the best additions to the game they ever had. I will show you, Dash, what I mean. Yeah, I have actually a video because exactly because of that reason. I think there are so many really good items in the Wizards world. Like I said, with the, for example, with the Legendary Starter Kit or the Mystic Coins, or even the Tomes of Knowledge. Yeah, those are really good things. I put them in my tier list really high. But there are so many noob traps in there. Essence of Luck. Who wants to buy this? That's really bad. Or Obsidian Shard. It's really bad. You can get that really easily. Even if you play just PvE, you have a lot of karma lying around and buying it for karma. It's crazy. Or those 40, yeah, 40 for a large crafting bag. Yeah, this consists of or contains those materials. You get a few silver out of that for more than the bag that gives you 1 gold. Such a scam. That's insane. They should not put that in here. That's just crazy. Really, I don't get why they do that. They should definitely remove it. Yeah, I think in Guild Wars 2 you need, I don't know, maybe if you completed the first few weeks every day and then every single weekly after that, you get it easily. So I think that's in my opinion a good thing for a casual, but it would be cool to have more rewards that are somewhat worthwhile, for sure. Yeah, definitely. If you lower the prices, that would be fine as well. They're just way too expensive for what they bring, for sure. I think the revive orbs are actually not that crazy. I got a lot of them from opening my blackline chests. And I think, especially if you play Fractals and stuff, Fractal CMs, they can become handy. But buying them with gems is obviously a big scam. It's so expensive and you don't really need it. I think buying them here, there could be an argument for that. But you have to say, this is almost 3 gold, just if you buy the most expensive one. Thanks, that gamer, for the follow. Really appreciate it. So even if you buy it with the most expensive here, it's over almost 3 gold. 1 revive orb, I think that's quite expensive, to be honest. If you really want to use them, yeah, sure, but I would say that's not something I would buy. And most people actually have them lying around. Yeah. Definitely. I think it's a good thing to have a wide variety of items in there, but in my opinion, they should be priced accordingly and not be completely crazy. For example, this thing is such a noob trap. People really think, oh my god, I get 1% more gold. That's such a good investment. But it's not true. You get just 1% more account gold from loot that drops from enemies that you kill. There are some enemies in the game that gives you 1 silver or something. This will increase by 1%. So you get then 1 silver and 1 copper. For 1000 Astral Acclaim, you get 1 copper more from those enemies sometimes. It's not the consistent gold that you get from Fractals or from completing PvP and stuff. This is not affected by that. It's just the loot that drops directly from enemies. So it's a really big scam. It's the biggest scam in here. So that's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I know the feeling. I know the feeling with the defense. It's crazy. Okay. So I wanted to show you the stuff with the Legendary Army. So on this character, I have all templates used, yeah, for my PvE, only for PvE content. So I have a healing Chronomancer build with Harrier. I have one with Giver so that I can tank raid bosses because I have way more toughness. I can play, for example, a Boon Chronomancer that needs different gear than a Power Virtuoso, for example. And when I now have to change this dagger to not have the Sigil of Force, but have Sigil of Night, because I want to run a dungeon that is on Night, yeah, then I have to keep the Accuracy Sigil here, but I have to swap this Force Sigil to Night, because Night gives you 10% damage. Yeah, or 7%, I don't know, depends on the game mode. But this is really good. So I have a lot of Ascended, not a lot, but some Ascended weapons here and here that I can just swap whenever I need it. And there you can't use the legendary stuff anymore. So you have to use Ascended gear with an exotic rune or sigil. Sigil in that case. So this is why I can just say, okay, right click this, equip, right click, equip, and then I swap easily without much of a hassle. But if you need to use the templates, you have then to swap, okay, I want to have a focus in the offhand, but I don't want to all the time swap the stats from it when I re-equip the focus, because you will lose the stats of it. So if I now swap to the focused build, which has exactly the same gear, then this is this skill build template, just the focus in the offhand. This is just the case for using multiple build templates. In the end, if I want to optimize this even more, I have to use a lot of ascended gear. So this is really annoying. This is a thing that they have to fix, in my opinion. If you have everything that you need to go for, or that you want to have in the Wizard's World, then the best thing to get is definitely bag of coins. I would say getting 1 gold is just the most universally good thing that you could get, because it will give you value, even though it's quite expensive, 35 Astral Acclaim for 1 gold, but it's better than all the other stuff that you could get. However, one tip, when it's almost time for the next patch, being in 30 days or so almost time for the next patch, I would save up on the Astral Acclaim to go up for the maximum here, and then also try to not accept all your weekly stuff, because then you can get up to 2,000 almost of Astral Acclaim just saved up, and as soon as the patch drops, you can then use this saved up, accumulated Astral Acclaim and buy all the rewards that you want to get. It's not like you don't get anything, because if you don't do that, but you will have a jump start in that sense. That's my tip if you want to optimize it. It's not like you need to do that, because like I said, you can buy every single thing if you don't even focus on Astral Acclaim. Just do it a little bit and you will get every single thing at the end. But it's a nice thing to jumpstart it, like I said. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's do the giveaway. Hope you all entered. Let's see. So Fefe Square, congrats to you. You won the giveaway. Hope you're still here. Let me know in the chat your account name so I can send you the prize. And don't worry, we have more stuff to give away in the future. This was the last for today, but yeah, sure, congrats. And before I forget, next week on Wednesday, we will have the next raid training. I think we still have a spot open, so if you want to join, be sure to join my Discord server and sign up for it. Yeah, I did a giveaway on Twitch. Sorry, Mr. Smith, on YouTube. There will be more giveaways in the future, also on YouTube. Congrats to you again, Fefe, and yeah, more giveaways in the future, don't worry. And like I said, raid training next week. If you want to sign up, just join the Discord server and go for the training. And depending on what the people want that joined or signed up, we can go either for, Sabetta, or we can go for another raid wing. Because last time we did ring 1 and we were actually quite decent and we did not beat Sabetta, we got to 5% or something. So we could continue there or we could do a new one. The time would be 8 PM CET, so just my usual streaming time. But all of that is also in the Discord. So Wednesday next week, 8 PM CET. So 2 hours earlier than current time. Yeah. And perfect. Yeah, let's see who will be there. Hopefully everyone will be on time, especially if you signed up. Please be there. It's really important. I don't want to have to wait or fill the slots because someone doesn't show up. That's not nice. And perfect. No, that's everything. Just sign up and we will vote as soon as we have enough people. We will vote on the wing that we want to do. And yeah, that's also the stream end for today. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thanks a lot for watching and the nice debates. Hope to see you in the next stream. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice evening. See you around.